This is Glorilla, y'all. Some of y'all know her. Might be some of y'all first time seeing her. Glorilla is an XL American bully. Glorilla is a combination between basically Probulls blood and Rockcamania blood. Dak's bloodline. One thing you'll notice about Glorilla is she is ginormous. Glorilla is a big dog, and she's always hungry, and she always wants more food. And she's 90 pounds right now, and we could probably get Glorilla to about 120 pounds, maybe 100 and more. I'm not sure, but we're not going to try to do that. We're going to increase her feeding a little bit more, but we're going to increase her feeding a little bit more before we breed her. She's probably coming back in the heat in like December. So each month we're going to try to add more food, but we're going to add more food and add exercise. So we won't just be adding food. Move. Out. Out. So one thing I want to say about Glorilla. Glorilla was a puppy that went through many stages of life. First of all, when we got Glorilla, she was a runt. She was the smallest one in the litter. But once again, true to my instincts, I always choose the dog that has the best structure. I never go for the color most of the time. I go for the best structure. So she was a small dog. But you know, I chose her because there were only other white dogs available. So I chose her over white dogs because you don't want to add a bunch of white dogs to your program, if any. You know, if you're having a program that you're starting, you don't want to necessarily add white. This is my advice. You guys do whatever you want. I just don't add white. It's just a no-go for me. You know, you can own a white, but not for breeding purposes. I don't breed white dogs. So Glorilla was a runt. And then she had some trouble with the other puppies, not getting along. She really wasn't accepted too much by the other dogs because she was a newbie. And they just didn't like her. She was just a hyper dog. So, you know, they had to teach her a few lessons. Let's just say that. So she had some troubles growing up, some growing pains when she got a certain size. And she went through a lanky stage and nobody knew what she was going to be. So basically, in a nutshell, she's Rockcamania and Probulls. But Probulls is the bloodline that is showing through this dog. Probulls, this is what you're seeing, is a Probull style dog. It's not as big or as tall as most Probull dogs because it has that Rockcamania blood in it. But she's a tall XL, about 22 inches. And she's very compact, short frame. And she has a great attitude, but I think she's more serious. We look at her like a playful dog, but she's more serious than we would think. One thing about Glorilla, she's never been in a fight with another dog here. She never fights other dogs. She's just playful. So that's a good thing. She gets along with another dog and they live in the same cage together. So next we'll go on to not breeding Glorilla till she was 2 years old. A lot of dogs reach maturity at around 8 weeks. Babe, you got your fingers in front of the cameras. Both of the lenses. A lot of people don't breed dogs until they're 2 or 3 years old or whatever. But a lot of people like to breed the dog at 1 year old as soon as the dog is in the second heat or as soon as the dog is a certain size. And a lot of times it's okay in a way because the dog doesn't grow. But with Glorilla, we waited. We started, you know, as you get more professional in what you're doing when it comes to these dogs, you need to get more ethical. So you don't breed a dog at 1 year old or on the second heat. That dog has to be 2 years old. I mean, I'm not saying what someone should do is bad or wrong. I'm just saying, as you become more ethical in this game, you gotta pick up on ethnicity. So we're not gonna breed her till she's 2 years old. And what we found out was she's actually hit a growth spurt. So she always hovered at around 80 to 83 pounds. You know, if you stuff her full of food, she'd go hit like 80 something, 88 or something. But That's just her being stuffed like a Thanksgiving turkey. But right now, she's not stuffed. She's just 90 pounds. So she's effectively gained like basically 10 pounds, 6 to 10 pounds. We'll call it 10 pounds because all dogs fluctuate in weights, especially if you exercise them or if you switch their food up or this or that seasons of the year. So she actually gained 10 pounds. So we're noticing that not all dogs are going to max out at their size at 1 year old. So as she's already reached 90 pounds, it's fair to say that Glorilla, if she got pregnant, she would gain 20 pounds and be 110. Or if she gains more weight, she would be 120. So it's no telling if Glorilla's going to hit 110, 120. Possibly she could hit 130 pounds. How would she fare with that much weight on her? We don't know. But don't get it twisted. Glorilla has no fat. Like if you try to find some fat on this dog, this shit is solid. Listen. This shit is solid muscle. Fat will be rippling. You hear any ripples? See any rippling? No ripple of fat. She is solid muscle. So she's like one of those kids that look like they're fat, but you touch them and they solid bulk. She's a husky dog. There's really no fat on this dog. It's all muscle. You know, don't get it twisted. Gorilla's all muscle. If she runs into you, you're going to probably break your leg. Her head is getting big. She's probably almost at a 25-inch head. You know, it's big and it's getting bigger. You know, she's a great dog. We consider her to be a happy-go-lucky dog, but she's protective and, you know, she's not really, she's no pushover. Gorilla's the type of dog, if she wants out of a cage, she's not going to calm down no matter what you do. You can put water on her, you can scream, you can beat the cage. If Glorilla wants out, she's going to get out. She's going to chew that cage up, or she's going to go crazy, and then after that, she's going to poop. She's going to get out that cage. You're going to let Glorilla out when she wants out. And if Gorilla's locked up too long, if she feels like she's been locked up, she's going to go crazy in that cage and knock over the water bowl, chew up the dog house, beat down the door. Glorilla want out, she going to go out. And then she squeaks, and she goes, she kind of squeaks, and she going to go nuts. And there's nothing you can do to stop Glorilla from wanting out. And usually she wants out right after a long run. You could run Glorilla, give her 10 bathroom breaks, but when Glorilla wants out, she's going to do whatever it takes to get out. You're going to let her out. She's going to be reasonable with you, but this isn't the type of dog that you could beat or bully or persuade to do what you want her to do. Glorilla does what she wants to do on her own terms, and you can't persuade her to do anything that she doesn't want to do. But what I want you to take from this is we will be breeding Glorilla the King and producing some monster-sized bulls. Those puppies are going to be probably $2,500. So if you guys are looking for a monstrous, super buffed out bull, save your money now. Because I'm going to call all the kennels that I believe are ethical. If you ain't ethical, you won't be getting no call from me. You know, I'm not going to just sell my dogs to anybody. It's not a slight to anyone. I'm just not going to put my blood in the wrong hands and then you breeding a dog at 9 months or some shit. We're not doing that over here. You know what I mean? We're not doing it. You know, this is a high quality of dog. I want you to wait till this dog is 2 years old to breed this dog if you get a dog off this. I'm not going to say don't breed my dogs and sign this contract. I'm just telling you, don't breed the dog till it's 2 years old. If you do breed the dog till it's before it's 2, I just won't do any more business with you. I'm not going to tell you to sign the contract and I'm going to sue you and all that shit. Just know, I don't want these dogs bred till they're 2. Males and females, both. Let them grow. Let them develop into dogs. Do what you got to do to develop the dog. Don't be a thirst trap. Don't be thirsty neck. Don't have a long ass neck. Shorten your neck. No neck. But this is Probulls blood. So when we put King on there, you talking about monsters. Thick. Look at that. Chill. Lay back. Monsters. So take what you can from that.